My name is Ron Daniels, Dr. Ron Daniels. I'm president of the Institute of the Black World 21st Century and the founder of the Haiti Support Project. And I've been honored for the last few years to be able to moderate this panel on behalf of the undisputed. Y'all like boxing? Y'all like boxing analogies? If you like boxing, you have the undisputed champion of the Congressional Black Caucus and of Black America for Haiti, the Honorable John Conyers. Give it up. Undisputed. All right. So we're going to hold just a minute. Some people are just flowing in. Y'all flow toward the middle if y'all could. Come towards the middle here. We're trying to get a nice little vibe going. So come to the middle. Come to the middle. Come to the center if you could. Okay, today's panel is entitled Haiti's Empowerment Beyond Borders, which suggests that the primary focus is on the Haitian diaspora and organizations who are outside of the United States who can impact the fate and future of the first Black republic in the world. Not just in this hemisphere, the first Black republic in the history of the world. And so we've assembled a very, very distinguished panel for this discussion. We expect that Ambassador Paul Altador will be joining us shortly. We have on the panel Fanny Lamone, and if I mispronounce that, correct it when I get to it. He was born in Haiti in 1953. He is the author of 2 Haitian bestsellers, A Face Identity Haitienne, a reference book on Haitian history and culture, and dialogues and conversations on Facebook. In 2008, he founded the distinguished Kiskeya Foundation that aims to clarify the theoretical confusion imposed on Haitian memory. And so we want to certainly hear his perspective. Nadine Duplessis Kearns is president and founder of Access ED. She is president and founder, she's a consulting, which is a consulting practice serving schools, community-based organizations, and foundations committed to increasing college access and success for low-income students. Previously, she was executive director of the New Community for Children. New Community offers academic and enrichment based after school and summer school programs for youth who come primarily from the Shaw area of Washington, D.C. Nadine was born in Port-au-Prince. She came to the United States at age 11 to live in Dorchester, Massachusetts. And there's much more that goes with her qualifications as well. Is the mayor, the mayor's joined us, okay. The mayor of Miami Gardens. Oliver Gilbert is graduated from Miami, New Orleans Senior High School, took his talents and enrolled at Florida AME. That was a good choice.
Florida A&M.
Florida A&M.
FAMU.
What did I say, AME?
Yeah,
That's not bad.
I'm Baptist, but Florida A&M.
Are you a Baptist?
Yeah, I'm a Christian, okay. But yeah, we're good.
But we'll give you honorary AME status.
Yeah, okay. I'll do AME today.
Florida AME. My faux pas. After completing Florida AME, he returned home to attend University of Miami School of Law, where he graduated with honors. Shortly after law school graduation, Oliver's career in government and politics began, serving as legislative aide of State Representative Dorothy Benjois Mendengal was the first step in his life of service and giving back. And from there, worked with Janet Reno. Quick wit, they say, quick infectious smile. You've already seen that. In 2008, he was appointed to the Miami Gardens City Council, and later that year he ran to retain his seat. He has served in this capacity until 2012, and subsequently was elected to his second term as mayor of Miami Gardens. Leona Hermentine is here? Okay. Is director of the Lamdy Fund of Haiti, well known for its tremendous work over the years. A nonprofit organization that works in partnership with rural grassroots organizations to support economic justice, democracy, and sustainable development in Haiti. She oversees Haiti's Lamdy's Fund's outreach and education in North America. And there's more, but the Lamdy Fund
It's
is...
okay. It's an outdated bio.
Well, I just
I'll-
received it. I'm just
Thank you.
reading, so you can update it when you speak. I'm just the poor guy who received this a couple of days ago.
Right here.
And finally, Brian Concannon, who is a fixture here. We always have to have Brian, and he is a longtime friend of Congressman Conyers, but also I consider him a longtime friend as well. He's the executive director at the Institute for Justice and Democracy in Haiti. He co-manages Baji in Haiti for 8 years and has worked for the United Nations at the Human Rights Office. He founded LJDH and has been the director since 2004. Among other things, he prepared the prosecution of the Robotime massacre in 2000, one of the most significant human rights cases anywhere in the Western Hemisphere, and it goes on and on and on. He speaks and writes frequently about human rights in Haiti. He holds an undergraduate degree from Middlebury College, a JD from Georgetown Law School, and he speaks English, Haitian, Creole, and Francais. So that's our panel for today. And when the ambassador arrives, we will have him speak, but the order in which I would like for them to speak is the order in which they were introduced. We're going to allot each of you 8 to 10 minutes to sort of make an opening presentation, well, the ambassador's here, so would you please welcome Ambassador Paul Altador. So let me introduce the ambassador, who's right on time. He has spent his early years where he was born in Jeremy, Haiti. I'm envious of that because of all the work I've done for 22 years in Haiti, I've never been in the South to Jeremy, so I've got to go there. They say it's beautiful down there. He attended primary school in Jeremy and then studied at the Center for Secondary Studies in Port-au-Prince. Family later moved to Boston, where he completed his secondary education. He received a degree from Boston College, earned advanced degrees from Massachusetts Institute of Technology, also Economics, University of Paris. Before assuming the office of ambassador, he was vice president at the Clinton-Bush Haiti Fund in Washington, D.C. Ambassador Altador has dedicated his tenure to shifting the narrative on Haiti towards a more constructive approach. Most recently, he initiated a number of series to offer the diverse members of the Washington community an opportunity to rediscover Haiti and all it has to offer. As a point of personal privilege, I want to say that I think the ambassador, and I hope I don't offend anybody, has done an absolutely magnificent job. He has done an absolutely magnificent job. And I've shared that with you by email, the initiatives that he has launched this summer. I happen to have been briefly in Busboys and Poets recently because I, go to Busboys and Poets. It's my headquarters for meetings, and many of you do the same thing. So while there was a young woman who came up and said, Dr. Daniels, and we somehow got around to talking about Haiti. I said, oh yeah, I know you do work around there. She said, well, I just went to Haiti. And she had taken one of the trips that you had organized. And it did exactly what you want to achieve. She said, I had all these ideas. I was a little apprehensive. She said, it was such an amazing journey, an amazing pilgrimage, and it completely transformed my sense of what Haiti is history, what Haiti is today, and what its future is. That is the kind of work that Ambassador Altador is doing. So, Ambassador, the way we've set this up, we will come and make the first presentation, and we have provided for a period for Q&A with the audience first, as you did last year. We want to try to make it about 15 minutes if you can, maybe 10 minutes, and maybe a few minutes for Q&A, and then we'll move down the line to our panelists in the order that I called you up. Please welcome Ambassador Paul Altador.
Thank you, Dr. Daniels. I'm going to do something that I always tell my staff, but never comes true. I'm going to keep it brief, and so that there'll be sufficient time for us to have a conversation. I know the congressman is actually on his way, but I wanted to take a second to thank him for putting this panel together. I'm honored, I'm humbled to be part of this gathering. A gathering that, in my view, is a testament of his and members of the CBC's continued support to Haiti and its people. A gathering that, in my view, is a testament of the commitment to ensuring that the Haiti conversation remains alive in the minds and on the lips of many here in Washington, D.C. and beyond. I also wanted to take a few seconds, if I may, to express on behalf of the government of Haiti, on behalf of the people of Haiti, our heartfelt sympathy to the communities in Texas, the communities in Florida, as well as the many regions in the Caribbean that have been affected by Hurricane Harvey, Hurricane Irma, and more recently, even today, Hurricane Maria. The people of Haiti know all too well the pains that at times Mother Nature can inflict on communities and families because of hurricane and other natural disasters. So we stand in solidarity with many folks in those communities. So if you happen to be from any of those communities or you happen to know folks there, let them know that we're keeping them in our prayers and our mind. Last year, at this very podium, there was such gathering, and I saw some familiar faces there. And I had put a call to action in that I am a strong believer that one of the critical, if not one of the most important issues Haiti is facing today has to do with the way Haiti is portrayed. It's, you know, the perception, the image of Haiti. And I had put a call to action so that those who are sons, daughters, friends, advocates, allies of Haiti engage themselves in a movement to shift the Haiti conversation a little bit, regardless of what's taking place on the ground. And we'll talk about that. But we feel that it's as important that the narrative is shifted here as well, so that folks become more comfortable in putting some of the positive stories out there. All too often, and this morning, I was on the train coming back from New York. I was at the General Assembly, and I'm talking on the train, and somebody overheard that I'm from Haiti. You know, he heard the accent, and he heard I'm from Haiti. And his instinct reaction was, wow, how Haiti's doing, how can I help you? And it's always a sign that the stigma that associated with Haiti has become this country almost exclusively associated with the idea of charity, of pity, and nothing else. And I'm pretty certain the young lady whom you made a reference to at Buzz and Poets, and I did that survey with them, we're trying to take folks to Haiti not to do anything that other people don't do, but we're telling them, we're taking you to the country of Haiti to see the country for what it is, with its good, with its bad, and everything in between. All too often, the narrative has been shifted in one direction. Folks fail to realize we're just a community like every other community, with our problems, but also with our triumphs. But the triumphs, when it comes to Haiti, do not make the headlines here. Only when things are going bad, or even when things are not going as bad, we're always looking for something bad to tell. So that stigma, in my mind, has been detrimental to Haiti's process moving forward. So I've been using my tenure to engage people in that different conversation. And I'm hoping to do it here, I do it at the embassy, and I'm also doing it on college campuses throughout, and everywhere else I get a platform to talk about this. We need to actually look at Haiti with different lenses. And the more we keep actually addressing Haiti with the same lenses, and all we need to do, just look at the last 30 years. nothing has changed in terms of, look at the Haiti scoreboard. We put a lot of energy into it. The folks here on the panel, you in audience here, in some ways, all of us are committed to this thing called Haiti. But often enough, we're not talking about the success of our labor in some ways, because that's not how the conversation is set up in some ways. I have 2 young daughters. And I always tell folks, you know, I'm hoping for the day that these kids will be feeling proud to talk to their classmates about where their father's from, rather than running away from it, or rather than allowing their classmates to simply do food drive, clothes drive, all the time in the name of Haiti. And we're saying this stigma has consequences. And it's no different from a debate that's taking place right here, right now in the US. In many communities of colors, what's the conversation about? The way law enforcement and other people use communities of colors to stigmatize them. Profiling. Whether it's racial, whether it's economic, but somehow many communities of colors are facing this issue that the country of Haiti has been facing for way too long. And all too often, those who are sons, daughters, friends, advocates of Haiti, we're playing that card for people. The New York Times make the headlines about Haiti when things are not bad. But I'm saying, wait a minute, all those Haitian Americans, a lot of times, the stories are sensationalized. We need to push back on some of these things. Again, not to hide what's happening in Haiti. That's not the point I'm making here. To the contrary. There are actually a number of Haitian congressmen sitting in this audience here. And I'm saying we have leverage to put pressure on ambassadors, to put pressure on congressmen in Haiti, to put pressure on presidents in Haiti, to put pressure on prime ministers in Haiti, for us to do the right thing. So that as we're trying to do some other things there, they come together. The stigmas when it comes to Haiti, in my mind again, even if there were to be points on the board, I'm afraid that very few people would actually try to look at the success stories, because we've been trained to think of Haiti almost exclusively in negative terms. I just don't see how a country gonna be able to stand on its own 2 feet if that's how its sons, its daughters, its friends, its allies continue to actually portray that country. So I'm saying there's a movement here that's in motion, and part of the partnership we do with Bus Boys, and I'm doing that with a number of organizations to ensure that we put that message out there. And we're not here to tell people, go here, go there, as opposed to look at it as the big picture and draw your own conclusion. Today is Friday. In Washington, D.C., somewhere in a slum, somewhere in Haiti, or on the hills in Haiti, just like any communities in D.C., or in St. Louis, or in Boston, or in Miami, a 16-year-old kids, they're gonna sneak out of their parents' house to go meet their boyfriend or their girlfriend. That's a sign that it's a community that's trying to live their lives. Haiti is no different from that story. But that's not how people look at it. So I'm saying that movement needs to take steam. And it needs to take steam in many forms. Right before I walked in here, a comment was made, a question was posed to me. What would it take for something like the Congressional Black Caucus Convention to take place in a place like Haiti? And I remember telling the person, you know, it has nothing to do with logistics. It has nothing to do with the idea that members of Congress wouldn't want to go to Haiti. I'm saying, you know, it has a lot more to do with the idea that most people wouldn't even dare to think of Haiti in those terms. And I'm saying that's a problem. So in the spirit of partnership, I'm looking at all these folks who travel from all over the country, even outside of the US. What a great story would have been. You know, the CBC is happening here in DC. In the grand scheme of things, it's a footnote in Washington, DC this week. Anyway, we gather together, but in the country of Haiti, I'll venture to say, everything has been equal. This could be the type of thing that could actually put Haiti on a different map, in terms of Haiti welcoming so many people of colors that they have never seen before, and vice versa, folks interacting with many actors on the ground, so that next time, the congressmen sitting here, they shouldn't be coming here to sit in their audience to listen to a lot of people talk about Haiti. They are the policymakers in Haiti. We need to put them here to grill them about what's happening, so that as we talk about TPS, the story cannot continue to be about, please don't send them back because Haiti is bad. We want to ensure that folks are stay with their families if they choose to be here, but we're also lighting a fire in Haiti. To the ambassador, to the congressman, to the president, What is it you're doing to ensure that if people were to return, we can really actually welcome them back with dignity? And I'm saying there's enough leverage among those of you here in the audience to actually do some of that. And I'm concerned that at times, that's not where the movement is going. So much of the focus is about raising money for a particular organization. So much of the focus is about project-oriented. At times, we're losing sight of the big picture. Those are the concerns I have today as an ambassador, but also as a person who's interested about this. So Hurricane Matthew, as you talk about Jeremy, got hit hard. It's not the devastation that actually that concerns me, because we're going to live with hurricane during our lifetime. That's just the nature of where we're located. How we deal with some of these issues is as important. So right now I'm on a crusade to actually engage folks in conversation they're not used or they're not even willing to talk when it comes to Haiti. I'm going on college campuses, I'm saying, okay, we'd like to engage students in collaboration with Haiti. Not come during spring break and spend a week with us with your already conceived projects. We want you to come in the Haitian classroom and spend a semester with us. It's going to take time for some of these things to happen. I'm talking to the NAACP, telling them, we'd love to invite the NAACP to their convention outside of the US. And symbolically, what would be a better place than Haiti for that to happen? And I'm not saying we have the ability logistically to make it happen, but I'm saying that's a step in that direction, just to begin to frame people's mind in a direction that they're not used to think. Ambassador, convention, Haiti? Or just like the young lady usually say, most of those people who went to Buzzboys to Haiti with us, the overwhelming response they got from people whenever they told them they were going to Haiti, you know, what organization are you going with? What NGO are you going to Haiti for? In other words, those are the cliches that actually have been part of the Haiti conversation. Again, just like many communities of colors here. I used to live in one in Mattapan. Most classmates of mine at Boston College, at MIT, from the affluent suburbs of Boston, they would never set foot in Mattapan in the middle of the city, in part because of the stigma that's associated with those communities. But what do I see in Mattapan? Just like in East Harlem, just like in Little Haiti, until Little Haiti is becoming too gentrified. Again, we need to be concerned about these things. Folks are now going to many of these communities, but the members of communities are being pushed out. And I'm concerned that as we're talking about development, those are the things I'm concerned as an urban planner when it comes to even Haiti itself. I wouldn't want people to go to Cité Soleil simply because now Cité Soleil is a hot thing to do. I want them to see the communities that are thriving there in some ways. What is it we are doing to make those things happen? This is the challenge of the day as far as I'm concerned. And it comes in line with the main conversation we're having today. And I'm going to end with this parting note. There's a debate that's taking place right now concerning the Haitian government. Earlier, there was a whole conversation about TPS, and it's linked to this whole idea of how we're looking at Haiti. I personally am engaged in this conversation with the administration to ensure that TPS is extended. Like I said earlier, there's a set of initiatives, in my view, that needs to take place in Haiti to ensure that down the road, eventually Haiti is prepared to receive, not TPS recipients, if it comes down to it, anybody who would like to come, any person of Haitian descent. There has to be an environment that's created for that. In that spirit, TPS is extended between now until the end of, until January. By November 23rd, the US administration would have to make a decision as to what's gonna happen next. I'm just trying not to leave this decision to chance. I'm not trying to leave this decision to kind of at the discretion purely of the administration. It is, legally speaking, their discretion to make that decision. But we're trying to do a number of things to influence that decision, to ensure that decision is made in favor of those folks. For that to happen, the congressmen, we're actually mobilizing members of Congress to go beyond just writing letters. We're insisting that the CBC, for instance, in partnership with other members of Congress, and more importantly, to reach across the aisle, because just Democrats on their own will not be able to convince the guy at the White House to do this. People on the other side need to be part of this. So we're mobilizing members of Congress to be part of this. The Haitian government itself is engaged in a series of conversations with community-based organizations, as well as the US administration, to ensure that we address this issue for what it is. And more importantly, we're ensuring that folks like you also play a critical role in this. You have friends who are members of the administration. You probably have classmates members of the administration. You are a constituent of a member of Congress. We're hoping you can apply pressure so that TPS potentially could be extended. And if it's extended, and this is a critical piece of my talk here, we're not asking for TPS to be extended eternally. We don't think this administration, and in fact, they've made it clear to me that that's not the intent. The intent is to stretch this a little bit so that people have the ability to either change the status from a legal point of view. I'll let the lawyers talk about this. But more importantly, we buy time to address this issue for what it is. But more importantly, for the state of Haiti to begin to address issues on the ground. So just in case the administration down the road were not to be willing to do that, I'm not afraid to take my daughters back home. But for that to happen, it requires something. That something is not going to come by itself. It requires your involvement. And it starts with this whole idea of let's shift the narrative a little bit here. I look forward to talking to you more about this.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's give it up for Ambassador Altidore. And we're going to shift a little bit, Ambassador, and have all the questions at the end, because I don't want this to get in a situation where we disrespect the time of the other panelists who have joined us today. So a lot of food for thought. And let me just say parenthetically that the NAACP is one of the organizations that should do Haiti, because there's a long history of the NAACP having been very integrally involved in fighting for the freedom for Haiti for many, many, many years. And so that's one of the projects that you can count on me working with you on, Mr. Ambassador, to try to make happen. So now we want to go right down the line as we had outlined. You may use the podium if you choose, or you can sit if you choose, either way. But when I tap on the microphone, that means your time is up, okay? So we're going to start with, and please, is it Hervé?
Hervé.
Yes.
Yes. All right, good afternoon, good evening, all. Thank you, Dr. Daniels.
Speak into the microphone a little bit better.
Thank you, Mr. Daniels, and then thank you for the introduction. Let me start by thanking also the organizers, and particularly for Congressman John Conyers, who years after years have been the true warrior for the welfare of Haiti. And I say thank you again. I'm here to speak on a little bit on education on Haiti, about how I see a change in the mentality of the next generation of Haitians. And Haiti is a fairly new country, only 314 years old, mm-hmm. And in the League of Nations, Haiti is a baby who has been struggling to grow. With all the scars left on her body, baby Haiti has learned to grow on her own. After a long struggle, which lasted nearly 300 years, on the night of November 28, 29, 1803, after a 13-year-long battle against three great powers of the West, she declared herself independent. Her freedom was an insult to the elders, and she was punished by them. They refused to recognize her independence, thinking it would be a bad example for the brothers and sisters abroad. Even the Vatican, for about 60 years, turned his back on her. Young Haiti did struggle to prevent the return of tyranny. She had to pay millions in gold, equivalent to billions of dollars in today's money market, to be recognized by friends. She managed to stay alive until in 1915, Big Brother, the United States, brought the Marines and occupied the country for 30 years, up to today, unofficially. History books have said a lot about Haiti. Nonetheless, Haitians have not essentially produced their own history books. Those who did have compiled data of an old and presented it to the people as their history. Now, let's ponder on this together. Education is a thing of logic. Basic educations for Haitians should start with basic knowledge of Haiti and Haitian history. In my mind, good education does not mean to be well schooled. Not that it's a bad thing, but good education means to know who you are and where you are going. For example, Haitians refer themselves as slaves because they studied that in textbooks, not knowing that Africans were enslaved in Haiti and they were not slaves in Africa. And then, 1804, a people come Haitians that also were never slaves. So if you know that, you study about yourself with being emancipated, I don't think you will have a problem dealing with who you are. And that's why we are facing a so-called crisis, identity crisis in Haiti today. I have heard many people, many organizations with different programs having the right formula to help Haitians. I have yet to see a program which educates Haitians on the basic understanding of how to be Haitians and what has made them Haitians. Haitians are in fact de facto Africans with some indigenous and European upbringing. Therefore, it is important to educate Haitians about Africa before colonizations. I'm not talking about 1503, but Africa before the takeover of Islam. As Marcus Garvey once said, quote, "A people without the knowledge of their past history, origin, and culture is like a tree without roots," unquote. I'm confident enough to say that one of the major problems that we, as a people, confront today is the lack of understanding of who we really are. We may want to spend billions of dollars to build roads and infrastructure in Haiti. If one is not educated enough to understand the necessity of maintenance, those investments will be wasted in just a few years. To quote Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., quote, "The function of education is to teach one to think intensively and to think critically. Intelligence plus character. That is the goal of education," unquote. So going back to our question, why is education so critical to helping Haiti get back out of this crisis? Education is critical because it gives us a perspective on things around us by forcing us to look at our lives and the life of others and learn from experience. With education, there's a future. And with it, you can easily understand the principle of collectivism and equal justice so as to be one people moving in the same direction for a common goal. Therefore, a good educational system in Haiti, in my opinion, should be structured as follows. You start with construction of government-controlled schools in every neighborhood. Then you reinforce mandatory schooling for all children from K1 to high school in 4 languages: Haitian Creole, English, Spanish, and of course French, in that order of importance. Why? Because all Haitian kids speak and understand Creole. That is one and the only language they speak. That's about 97% of them. Haiti's major business partner and friend is the United States. So the knowledge of English is a must. Over 3 million Haitians abroad are being educated in English or speak English. The second important business partner of Haiti is the Dominican Republic. Then South America, a distant third. Another estimated 2 million students and workers speak Spanish. It would be beneficial to the people in Haiti to be able to communicate with those Haitians abroad. And then French. Government still operates their business in French, though most don't understand or speak the language. In fact, the less than 3% mentioned above includes Haitians living in neighborhood Quebec and as far as the European Union. In a nutshell, schools in Haiti should be public. That includes all universities. And only few people should be given permits to operate private schools. All private schools should have the same curriculum, education in 4 languages. Now, all this sounds good and dandy. But how can we secure education in Haiti? Well, everyone must pay their share. If taxes are not sufficient to sustain education, then we may seek help from abroad. By help, I mean assistance in infrastructure, expertise, supplies, etc. Teach us how to fish, so to speak. Do not hand us a fish. As the ambassador was saying, we're not here just to take leftovers. We do not need donation. That's enough of it already. Excuse me. Also, the Ministry of Education must be reorganized to handle schools' curriculum and administrative matters, including basic things such as ensuring teachers are paid on time. Children can have access to breakfast and lunch free. Free transportation is provided, and an after-school program are in place to keep those kids up with their studies. How can a teacher not get paid for months? How can an empty stomach learn? When allocating funds, the government budget must prioritize programs which serve the people instead of pleasing a minority which maintain the status quo. To sum up, I believe after securing food and shelter for the population, education should be at the top of the agenda of all politicians. That would be good politics. Any serious government, and that's for any government. As Maslow, who said that, quote, people are motivated to achieve certain needs, and that some needs take precedent over others. Our most basic need is for physical survival. And this will be the first thing that motivates our behavior. Once that level is fulfilled, the next level up is what motivates us, and so on, unquote. Let the government do its job. Let the government provide food and shelter to the people so their basic needs are fulfilled, awaiting the next big step, which is, of course, education. And then we can finally accomplish what the great John F. Kennedy once said, quote, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country, unquote. And he further said, as we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live by them. That's a commitment each of us must take if you really want to build a nation. I've been thinking and have several theories on how to make Haiti better for everyone. I have looked upon crucial aspects to have a good Haitian reboot. The topic of interest include education, agriculture, health, reforestation, and sustained economic development. Naturally, each of these have subtopics to support the steps to be taken. The last topic, sustained economy, is the easiest one to achieve, since we can use Haiti's very own assets, a great history that we have, superb landmark, beautiful exclusive beaches, and an unexplored cultural heritage. In closing, let us believe or trust that education is the milestone or turning point of Haiti for our fellow Haitians. Be the change you want to see in your country. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, those of y'all who go to church, y'all heard the minister do that, right? The preacher concludes about 3 or 4 times, so we need the first conclusion. Great piece, and we appreciate it so much. I was also instructed to say that this event is being live streamed on the Facebook of Congressman John Conyers' page, so I wanted to get that information out. And also, I neglected to just briefly acknowledge that we have, I think, 3 of the Haitian legislators here, and Ambassador, would just be so kind as to just mention them and have them stand at this point. I was given a piece of paper with the names on it, but so you can, thank you so much for being here. Okay. All right, so now we want to move to our next presenter, is Nadine.
Your names?
District.
Okay, very good. All right. So Nadine, you are next.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Bonjour.
Bonjour.
I feel that I should introduce myself properly as a daughter of Haiti. When you enter into a room, the first question people ask you is, "Qui nous ye?" which literally means, "Who are your people?" So my name is Nadine Duplessis Kearns. The Duplessis, les Duplessis, are from Okai. That's my dad's name, family name. And my mom is Durandis from Léogane. I was born and raised in Port-au-Prince and lived there until the age of 11. My story is a typical diaspora story, which really illustrates the role of women, the promise of women, and the opportunities for women in Haiti to rebuild our own country. Growing up as a little girl in Port-au-Prince, I was very fortunate to have access to a great education. I attended Saint-François d'Assise, which is a Catholic school. My family, everyone attended that school. And because of that religious order that operated all the schools in Haiti, my grandparents growing up in Okai, they had a vision that all of their children would get through high school. So if you can imagine, my grandmother was illiterate, but she wanted everyone to at least get through to high school. And she did that because of the opportunity for her to help finance education for her children. She was the primary breadwinner because my grandfather, a carpenter, suffered an accident and was unable to work. So imagine a woman in those days taking care of 8 children and making sure that they get through to high school. And because of opportunities for education, my father, a math teacher in Port-au-Prince, decided that his daughters would have even more access to the type of education that he thought we deserved as his children. So that's what brought us to the U.S., the opportunity for me and my siblings to have access to quality, free public education. And because of the Boston public school systems and the communities surrounding us, definitely the Haitian community, they saw to it that children like me, all we needed to do when we came to Boston was learn English, and then we could do anything we wanted to do. That was the message we were given in the community. And because of that, we listened and we did exactly as our elders told us to do. We went to school, we got good grades, we applied to college. And out of my grandmother's many grandchildren, many of us took it even a step further to earn graduate degrees. And we are here today in this country contributing to the U.S. economy and communities in which we live because of the access to education. Okay. I said that my story is typical because I want you all to understand that children in Haiti have a sense of pride and have a great sense of promise and potential. All they need is an opportunity. So similarly to children in Haiti, when I was applying to college, it never occurred to me that I couldn't go anywhere I wanted to go as long as they would let me in. And so a lot of the communities surrounded and gave us, my family, a lot of the support that we needed to get us through wherever we wanted to be. And when I got to Harvard College, I thought, why shouldn't I be here? And I found many other Haitians who were there just like I was, and we formed the community. We started the Haitian Student Alliance, and we began tutoring students from the nearby high schools and helping them figure out how they can get to college. Fast forward to what brings me here today, as a member of the diaspora living in the Washington, D.C. community. I think it's critically important to look at the role that Haitian American women can play when we engage with our sisters in Haiti. What brought me to Washington, D.C. was the opportunity to do international development work, and I started doing that primarily in West African countries because I kept my French up, and which came in handy to get that position. In doing that, I also wanted to find opportunities to create community here in Washington, D.C. For many of us in the diaspora, when we get to someplace new, the first thing we look for are other Haitian people and the Haitian restaurant. In that order, perhaps the restaurant first. And so when I asked around and didn't find that ready-made community, as all Haitian women know, if you want something done, you do it yourself. And I thought that we would start by gathering and having these conversations amongst ourselves. So a lot of people will recognize that I have become the Haitian Ladies Brunch Lady. And that nickname came about, and I proudly wear it because I started a tradition of doing a Haitian Ladies Brunch 12 years ago with just 5 of us. It was very auspicious. I titled it the first annual Haitian Ladies Brunch. And I wanted to find that opportunity to bring us together to have these connections and conversations. We are excited to have formed in 2013 a wonderful partnership with the Embassy of Haiti, because for many of us here, the embassy is our home away from home, and we were welcomed with open arms. The ambassador hosts the annual Haitian Ladies Brunch now, which happens to welcome close to 400 women from the DC area and beyond. We take over the embassy every year for that opportunity. In addition to that, I think many women in the audience will know that when we women start gathering to have conversation, we start sharing our ideas about solutions to our own issues. Haitian women can solve our own challenges because we go beyond opinions to solutions very quickly. If you ask a Haitian woman what she thinks about this and that, she will quickly go into solutions. So we are looking forward to continuing to not only build community, but to expand our conversations to action. We are planning this year to have, for the first time, a symposium bringing together Haitian American women from all fields to talk about how we engage with each other, support each other, and engage with Haiti beyond charity and aid. We recognize that our sisters in Haiti want to connect and engage with us, not only for that commonly known charity or aid, so that we can together create solutions to our own problems. We know that, as my mother said, the worst thing my mom would say to us growing up is if you're not somebody who's serious. She would literally look at you and say, "Ou pas sérieux." When you want something done, you have to do it yourself, and that's what that means. So we, Haitian American women who are here, recognize the opportunities that we've been given, access to education, and we turn inward and outward ultimately to connect and engage with women in Haiti. So we look forward to the inaugural Haitian Ladies Symposium on October 7th, followed by the traditional Haitian Ladies Brunch at the Embassy on Sunday, October 8th. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. We've been joined by our chairman, the undisputed champion for Haiti, the Honorable John Conyers. Would you please give it up for the Honorable John Conyers? Okay, let's now move to Oliver Gilbert for his presentation. I didn't know I had to just read these, and I figured that they would flow a certain way, and they're flowing just like I wanted them to. The whole image, the narrative, you know, it's
Well, the first three speakers have covered basically everything. So they've done a really thorough job. So I'm just going to point out some things that I think we all, first, thank you, Congressman, for always being a voice, not just on Haiti, but everything. We need people like you with your soul, your heart, your mind. That is what we need. We need more of you in this country. We need more of you in this world. There's a couple of things that struck me as I sat here and I was listening. And first, this room should be full. This room should be full. It's interesting because when the ambassador spoke, it really isn't a Haitian thing. It really is a black thing. So, and it really is a black thing. So I'll tell you who I'm from, who my people are. My dad's from Camilla, Georgia. He's passed away. My mom, her parents were from the Bahamas. I grew up in Miami Gardens. I live in the house that I lived in until I was 10 years old. But when people look at us, while I'm an African American, you understand we're all Haitians. We're all black. And so we get into this conversation and not self-identifying with each other, but in a lot of cases, this was a different stop on the same ship. And so I reject the idea as a mayor of black people, because my city is primarily the largest black city in the state of Florida, that there's a difference between your cause and mine. I reject the idea that there's a difference between the people who are walking out those hallways, how people see them and how people see us and you. And if we can get past that, if we can start telling a stronger, more positive narrative, there are going to be negative things in every respect, in every culture. But there are great things that are happening. There are great things that are happening in Haiti, and there's great efforts that are ongoing in Haiti. And we need to do a better job of being ambassadors of good news and being ambassadors of a positive storyline, because if we do not tell a better story, no one will. No one will tell your story where you're the hero. No one will tell you the story where you're the heroine. No one's going to do that. And so I see that, and I see it common not just in conversations that are specific to Haiti, but conversations that are specific to black people generally. Other people say negative things about us that we repeat. I just won't do that. I can't do that with regard to my city. I can't do that with regard to African Americans. I can't do that with regard to Haitians. We can't do that. We have to do better in that respect. One of the other things that struck me when I was sitting here, and I was listening to your presentation, which was really, really, really thoughtful, and I appreciated it, is something that I guess I read back in college at FAMU. You have to say FAMU in every presentation. You have to say Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University at least once. Yeah, you got to say it at least once. It's promotion, but it's something that I read from Aristotle, and it said, you know, the city came into the existence to preserve life. And it had a different meaning in ancient Greece, but what it means now is city, states, countries, communities form to do things together that they can't do, and people can't do independently. That's going to be true in places in America. It's going to be true in Haiti too. And I see and hear the conversation, and I meet with a great number of people who are looking to invest in Haiti. And what I'm mindful of is we need to build capacity in Haiti, and not just to try to create a new economic colonialism in Haiti. You're not going down there, if you're going down there just to try to get money to bring it out of the country, I want nothing to do with you. That's right. But if you're going down there to build capacity in the people so that they can build their infrastructure, that's right, so that they can recycle their funds, so that you can circulate dollars in Haiti, so that you can employ people in Haiti, right, so that you can build wealth in Haiti. Look, you're right. Look, I think it's around 20% of the gross domestic product in Haiti comes from money from people who are Haitians in America or around the world. That money ought to always be long-term. We need to be investing in the things that build small but grow big, things like power grids, things like, you know, planning, actual urban planning, actual building codes, actual an education system and a health system that provides for as many people as possible. These are the things that allow you to build something that's sustainable. And you know, I say it like it's easy. I understand that it's not. we sit here in America sometimes and we think that, well, democracy in our republic was so easy to do. Well, you know what? Back then, they had the benefit of slave labor. So they didn't have to worry about doing it, they didn't have to worry about a democracy at the same time building an economic system because people were working for free. You won't have that. We won't have that when we do it in Haiti, but we can do it anyway. We can do it anyway if we're actually willing to do just a couple of things. Put aside everything they say and concentrate on what we're doing. And concentrate on the fact that, yeah, I understand in this world everybody wants to make money, but we have to find a way that when we're building and we're empowering in Haiti, it has to be building capacity in the Haitian people, the Haitian government, and empowering people who are actually in Haiti. Thank you all for having me on this panel. I appreciate it.
Very good. Let me just say, as we get ready for our next presentation from Leone, that one of the things I'm most proud of in terms of the Haiti Support Project is this is the niche that we sort of assumed, that we took over, was particularly to introduce African Americans to Haiti. And over the past 22 years, we have taken literally hundreds of African Americans, and we began to also take Haitian Americans. So someone talked earlier, I have some people in my church who are Haitian, and they don't want to go to Haiti. I mean, they have this whole negative thing. And one of the things I'm most proud of, you were in Boston, you probably know Marie St. Clair. She was born in Haiti, but had not gone back for years and years and years. She will admit that she was infused with some of that too, even though she was helping Haiti. Well, we had the honor of taking her back, and she was received as a returning daughter, to Haiti. Because what we do is we take people to La Citadelle, and that's our pilgrimage we take. And when they go, we give them a certificate, everybody who goes, and it's called an Ambassador of Hope for Haiti. If you go to more than one time, then you give another. We have 3 different certificates we give, and we've had some people go at least 3 times. So now, let's hear about the amazing work of Lamdi. I think it's Lamdi, right?
Well, it was an outdated bio, although I did forward a more recent one, so I will entertain you for a few minutes about who I am. My name is Leonie Hermanton, and like most people on this panel, I was kidnapped at the age of 12 and brought to New York. I was told to come on vacation and never return to Haiti, but to some extent, Haiti never left me. I mean, I was still traumatized by the fact that I wasn't going to go back. And through education, I went to NYU. I received a couple of graduate degrees from UC Berkeley in law and urban planning. I dedicated my life. My ex-husband and I came to Florida, where we've lived for the past 20-something years. And, in spite of the distraction, the attractions of, corporate life, corporate work, I've been pulled to Haiti. First, I worked in the Haitian community in Miami at the social service, as a director of a social service agency, and work in different capacities. And then Haiti actually called me back through the Lambi Fund of Haiti, which is a small foundation that works with rural development. So through the Lambi Fund, I had this incredible opportunity to travel throughout Haiti, to meet Haitian peasants, grassroots organizations, and people who were, in the absence of government, really working really hard to operationalize their vision for development, for happiness. I have to say there is this quest for happiness. And then, I decided to, post-earthquake and the trauma of the earthquake, I decided that I really wanted to contribute something more profound to Haiti, which was through education. And I have to say that my personal history is that I'm the granddaughter of an incredible man who was assassinated by Papa Doc Duvalier. He and my uncle were killed, and that disruption, implosion of my family has really grounded us in all my work in this context of social justice. My family did not get angry, did not ask for revenge, but what they asked of us is that we had to continue to fight for my grandfather's principles and the idea that we were very privileged to education, and that privilege has to be shared. It has to be part of a larger vision. So unlike most people who, when they go to Haiti, are told, don't go, my mother actually helps me pack my bags. She's so proud of the fact that her daughter is giving back in that way. I've worked in not-for-profits most of my life, and currently I work with a not-for-profit in Haiti that also focuses on education. It's ProDev. I've also had the privilege of working for Haitian-led organizations. Most of my life, I've either been the head of a Haitian-led organization or worked for Haitian-led organizations. And I've been asked here to talk about NGOs and the not-for-profit organizations in the role of development. And I have to say that sometimes I get really distressed when NGOs are sort of lumped in the same category. We're all bad. It's all not-for-profits. You're all bad. You're all taking money. You're all creating this narrative of poverty about Haiti. And but the reality is that NGOs are extremely diverse. You have what we call the bingos, the big NGOs which have budgets of government. Actually, that's what you have many organizations in Haiti that operate as government. They don't report to the Haitian people. They are given huge budgets, comparable, even greater than that of the Haitian government, and yet they're not accountable to the Haitian people, nor are they accountable to the Haitian government. Unfortunately, the Haitian government tries sometimes to say, well, we have a vision, you need to align yourself to a vision, but that doesn't really work that way. And you have NGOs that are, Haiti is the republic of NGOs, the 10,000 NGOs that Bill Clinton used to talk about. And again, they're not all in the same position. You have those who just parachute themselves in Haiti with their vision, their project. It worked in Africa, it must work in Haiti, without consulting with local organization, without consulting with the local people, and again having to raise money on the narrative of lack of everything. We're coming in to sort of this desert where they don't know anything. We have to build their capacity to do everything because, they just don't know what they're doing, and we need to show them. And of course, you have other organizations which understand that in spite of sometimes the lack of education, in spite of the lack of opportunity, Haitian people are, resilient, have their own vision. They have lived 200 plus years in isolation, and so they've learned to do for themselves. And so it's best sometimes, if you want projects to work, to listen to them, to listen to their vision of what they want their lives to be. And this is where, again, I will agree with the ambassador that this image of nothing, there's nothing. We have to teach them how to do everything. We have to come and, doesn't work. And so you have organizations that actually do listen to what people say. And Lambi Fund was one of those, great organizations which actually did not tell people what to do, but went into communities and listened. The organizations had to submit proposals. I mean, we assume that if you can envision it, you have to be able to articulate. Even if you don't know how to read and write, you can explain it to us. And so that was one of the principles of the Lambi Fund, was to support grassroots visions and grassroots efforts. Sometimes in need of capacity, if you want to build a grain mill, you have to know what it takes. But the idea, again, is that I want to go back to my point, is that not all NGOs are similarly situated. And so when we talk about development, I think that in a country where people can just come in and do things without any control, you're going to have chaos. You're going to have people going. I once on a plane ran into some missionaries who were going to build a school somewhere. And I said, where are you going to build a school? And they told me, Pikmakaya. Now, Pikmakaya is Haiti is allegedly deforested, 97% deforested, and Pikmakaya is the only protected, one of the only protected green spaces, forested areas. And so to build there is something that's completely forbidden by the government. And, I said, but, it's illegal. You can't build there. And he says, well, I was invited. And I said, well, I'm going to report you. Of course, there's no one to report. I just made an empty threat. There was no one to report to. But, it's that idea that you have an open country. Haiti's open to a lot of negative influences, but one of them is the fact that people think that they can actually raise money on this image of misery. And some local, and I'm very proud of the fact that I've worked for organizations which do not agree to misery. I know that at the schools at Prodev, when people come to visit, we make it very explicit that our children are to be treated with respect. We don't want their pictures to be used in any way that's disrespectful. And we've even had partners. I mean, once we had an opening, I'm just going to be very brief, we had an opening of a computer center, and we prepared a whole program, so our kids looked good. Some of them spoke English, and we had a whole beautiful little program. And so we are very happy to showcase our school, showcase our vision of transformational education. And the next day, one of the partners posted something about the event that we took days to plan with one picture. There was the school's gate. So inside the school, we had all our kids all dolled up, all pretty and all prepared. And outside of the school gate, there was one child who was not in school. Her hair was disheveled. Her clothes were torn. And that was the image. The image. And remember, we have we had a computer lab. So our kids went looking online to see how were we presented. And so the only image that they saw was that poor child outside the gate. So this is, again, you have one NGO that builds image, builds, the positive narrative, and then you have others that just are there to raise money and continue the miserocracy, as we call it. So I'm going to end there and tell you again that. Thank you.
Very good. Okay, next we go to Brian Concannon. His be slightly different in that he has work that he does in Haiti. It does have to do with the image and the narrative, but it also has to do with issues of how to strengthen Haiti's democracy, its development, its judiciary system, and human rights. Let's give it up for Brian Concannon.
Thank you, and thank you, Ron, for moderating this panel. And I'd like to add all the thanks that have been heaped on Representative Conyers for all he's done in Haiti. And I'd like to add some personal thanks. Over the last 8 months has been a process, for me at least, of realizing that some of our struggles to make this country a more just and inclusive one are harder and deeper and longer than I had dared fear. And that creates a significant amount of frustration, but also a significant amount of gratitude for people like Representative Conyers, who have been fighting these fights for decades and are continuing to lead the fight now. Like Mayor Gilbert, I'm really excited about what's been said, and a great deal of the empowerment issue has been covered. So I'd like to make a couple of anecdotes from our own work that I think can illustrate some of the themes we've already raised. But before that, I'd actually like to have a report back, because one of the challenges of these kinds of panels, but all work on Haiti, is you have this great analysis, and it's often hard to have concrete follow-up on them, because often the challenges are hard. And I've got it's a fairly modest, but is a concrete follow-up. Last year, Ambassador Altador asked the question, why are all these American college kids going down to do service trips to Haiti, and none of them are doing exchange programs? And I promised, my kids were then 6 and 8, and I said, well, they're too young for a college abroad, but I'll get them down to Haiti soon, and I'm close. They are totally on board. They're now 7 and 9. They're totally on board. They want to go this Christmas. Their mom, who lived in Haiti and knows Haiti and loves it, but still thinks they're too young. So it's now 3 against 1, and we're working. Actually, we have a show of hands so I can tell. How many people think my kids, they're 7 and 9 years old, can go to Haiti and they're not too young? Oh, yeah. All right. All opposed? All right. And I will inform Marcy of that tonight when I get home. She may have some choice words for all of us, but I like to tell a story from my colleague Mario Joseph, who's a Haitian human rights lawyer. He runs an organization called the Bureau des Avocats Internationaux, and they try to work through the courts doing typical lawyer work, but also try to do a lot of public engagement. The assumption, which I think is a good one, is that the court system has significant structural problems, and you're never going to actually get justice unless you combine that with public pressure put on by informed, engaged citizens. And he was telling the story about going up to a town in the Central Plateau called, it was actually a rural area outside the town. The town's municipality's name was Bukankare, and he was going there to talk about budgets. Now, who has had a really fun discussion of budgets in the last week? Okay, well, this is Washington. But if we weren't in Washington, it'd be 0, but it's good we got 1 or 2. And Mario was a little bit intimidated just because, budgets aren't often what people think of as fun. And he was talking with this group. It was called the Civic Engagement Project that his office was running. And most of the people in the project had never had the opportunity to learn. A very few, like less than 10%, had the opportunity to get to high school, and no one had gone to college. And so he was, trying to figure out, are they going to care about budgets, and how can I explain them in a way that's going to make sense? And he was, worried the whole driveway up, trying to figure it out. It ended up being, because I talked to him when he got home that night, and he was saying, you wouldn't believe it. It was amazing. Everybody loved it. And I'm like, they love to talk about budgets? And they did. And it was, he said they were excited. They were also angry. And they were angry because they said, how come no one ever told us this? And this kind of comes back to the ambassador's comments about levers and where you put leverage. That if you're a Haitian citizen and you meet with an elected leader, you say, we need, hospitals, schools, roads, all these things, and they say we don't have any money, which is true, but also as the people in Bukankare figured out, there's a process as to how the not enough money gets distributed, and they had never learned that it was through the budget process, and they realized that information had been kept from them because it was such a powerful tool, and that once they knew this was there, here's a way to engage, to say, okay, we know there's not enough money for everything, but we think education is a higher priority than some other thing the government is doing. And that got them really excited about this. And I was thinking about that discussion. That was about 1.5 years ago, and I was thinking about in the last week where a lot of us have read about there's been a lot of demonstrations and strikes in Haiti. And, kind of getting back to the changing the narrative, I think it's often, when you see demonstrations, what's covered in the paper, it's always someone's burning a tire or crashing a car or doing something violent. And that same, it's the same coverage that happens whether it's in Port-au-Prince or it's in Ferguson or New York, especially if it involves black people. And I think we need to learn. I'm personally committed to nonviolence, and I don't think it's a good idea that people, crash car windshields. But you do have to think of these people they're not vandals. They're people who feel the system is broken, and they're trying to engage with their government in ways that perhaps may not be the best choice, but perhaps some of the other ways they don't feel that can work through the other ways. And I think that's also something that I think that we, as bringing it back to America, I think we have a role to play in that. Hervé gave a good long talk about some of the ways that the international community missed opportunities to support Haiti, starting with trying to prevent it from becoming the first independent country in the hemisphere. The U.S. tried to prevent the second one from being independent, and there's no way of explaining it other than that we had slaves and we couldn't allow freedom was an insult. Freedom was an insult to our failure to implement our ideals, and a lot of that some of the more recent points on that same timeline going through the U.S. occupation include us supporting the Duvalier dictatorship that, you know, that Leonie spoke so eloquently about, the toll on her family, and you start multiplying that by thousands of families, and you start seeing the impact. And, you know, right up through, and if we want to get bipartisan about it, our interference in the 2010 election under the Obama administration that I think was, Representative Conyers and many other members of the Black Caucus took a leadership role, and a courageous one, on making that public. But I think it caused serious problems in Haiti that have led to this current situation, contributed to the current situation of people feeling that they don't have, that their only way to get the government's attention is to take to the streets. And I think this goes a little bit back to Nadine's point. When we're talking about empowerment, I think it's important to say that these people have a lot of power. All we need to do is give people an opportunity. And I think that's important. We need to give people an opportunity to have their elections system work, as well as their economic and their education system. We also have to get out of the way. And I think as an American, you know, we often say, okay, we can jump in and fix this problem. But a lot of what we're doing, even when we could pass a lie detector test, that we're trying our best, objectively, we really are just getting in the way and preventing people who have the power and have the capacity to have an impact. We're actually hindering their ability to do that. When Nadine was talking about her grandmother, so one of the things we do is try to make the justice system work, especially for poor people in Haiti. And one of the things that, when Nadine was talking, that got me thinking about her grandmother, I had a counter story. A woman named Jeanne, who came to me one day and said, "I've got this contract issue with a provider," and I was a wholesaler. And at the time, I was just starting as a human rights lawyer. I was in Haiti working for the UN. I'd spent the previous 3 years as a commercial lawyer doing contracts. So I actually felt I was excited to get this question because I knew more about contracts than I did about human rights. And I said, "Okay, well, how can I help you?" And she said, "Well, this guy that sells me the cloth," she had a retail cloth business. She said, "The guy that sells me the cloth said I didn't pay him when I did, and he seized all my inventory, so my store is closed down." And I said, "Okay, well, you got to get a lawyer and you know, bring it to court." And she said, "I did, but the lawyer took money from him and made me lose the case." And I said, "Okay, well, we got to go to the Bar Association and complain about this lawyer." And she said that lawyer was the president of the local Bar Association. And, you know, it's exciting to hear Nadine's story, but there's also people like Jeanne. I mean, she was someone who was courageous, single mother. She actually been hurt the reason I was in touch with her, she'd been hurt in political violence before, that she was willing to keep fighting, but the legal disempowerment stopped her. If I can add two things. Two, I completely concur with the ambassador's comments on TPS. It's a winnable, not one battle we can fight. And we've got some handouts outside about that. One more winnable fight, and it's actually surprisingly so. We work on the UN cholera case, and a very exciting development, kind of wonky. It's got the word appropriations in it, but the Senate Appropriations Bill, the Republican-controlled Senate Appropriations Committee, just 2 weeks ago, passed in its budget $12 million for cholera relief, to contribute to cholera relief for Haiti, and that's $12 million that the administration had gone on record as opposing, but the Senate put it in. And we now have an opportunity. It's there's two houses, so we got to get the House to also make sure that that's in the final appropriations bill. And the appropriations process is going to be, you know, infinitely complicated from now till whenever it's finished, which I think is December. But we have an opportunity to get a very important support to people in Haiti, to cholera sufferers in Haiti.
Thank you so much. Haiti, empowerment beyond borders. Let's give the panel a great round of applause for excellent presentations. We now want to see whether Congressman Conyers would like to offer any remarks. If not, we'll go right to Q&A, but that's up to the chairman to decide. Q&A. All right. When the chairman says Q&A, it's Q&A. So we have a few minutes for Q&A. Do we have a microphone? Yes. Oh, it's the handheld one. Oh. We have a runner? Who's going to be Donahue? I mean, somebody. Okay, we have a runner. Okay, so we have a few minutes for questions and answers. We thank you all for coming. We have been joined by a group of young people to join. Let's give them a big round of applause for joining us. Thank you so much for coming in. And by the way, the next session coming up right after this one is on reparations. So we hope a lot of you will just hang in and stay with us.
I'd like to take an opportunity to actually introduce them. These young people are from Miami Gardens. They're the
All
Yeah.
right.
These are,
Come to
you
see
all
their
stand
mayor.
up, please. Stand up. This is the Miami Gardens Junior City Council. And we bring them up to Congressional Black Caucus every year.
Wonderful.
And
Let's
so
give it up.
they're all Miami
right.
Gardens residents.
Like that. All right. Okay. Who has the first question? Or it can be a comment if it's short. Anybody?
He does.
Hold on. Let one of the audience people do it, please. Yeah, I know, but I'm trying to. He's a veteran. I'm trying to get somebody else. Anybody else? Right here. There's one right here. Right here.
So my question is to Mr. Gilbert from Miami. A lot of us here from South Florida. My name is Sandra Dennis. And so while we do think there are a lot of things that are Black issues, I think that there are specific issues that are pertinent to the Haitian community. And so I'll give you an example. You know, in Miami-Dade County, there have been several protests or movements around the TPS issue that has specifically been a Haitian issue. And I think that as we're thinking to, like, how do we begin to really bridge that gap? And we say in our small talks that I think that there's, you know, Haitians tend to be at the bottom of the barrel when it comes to the Black community, and that's something that we need to talk about. And we need to, how do we get the Black community at large to really support initiatives if we truly are to be a family like we say we are?
Well, I think we have to speak very directly to the issue. Everybody really, people want to feel like they're better than someone, and we don't articulate that very often. But you know, having this conversation about in Miami, and I've heard the conversations, whether you're Haitian, Jamaican, or you're from the Virgin Islands, or you're African American, that's just ridiculous. When they're going to discriminate against you, it's going to be because you're Black. So let's speak very, very specifically to and directly to what is in any language ignorance. In any language, this is ignorance. And TPS is a issue that affects people from Haiti, but it is not a Haitian issue. No more than, you know, a police officer beating up a young Black boy for no reason is a Black issue. It is all of our issues. It's not just Black people's issues, it's white people's issues. It's our issues, understanding what's right and how we make it right. Look, when you start talking about how we distinguish who gets to come and how they get to stay, and whether it's a political oppression they're feeling or economic. Look, when people are having these real problems that are challenging their ability to live in these real places, they're not asking whether it's a corporation that doesn't exist or a dictator that does that makes the difference. That's not really what's happening. If we're going to be the country of our promise, if we're going to be the country that we say we are, then we have to address issues like TPS. And if we're going to be the Miami-Dade County, the greater South Florida that we say we are, the place that people, we're taking cultures from everybody, and we're making something really special, we can no longer look at this as though there is a bottom or a top, just a kind of melting of everything. But we have to talk about it. And it's going to start with us. It's going to start with Black people, Black leaders, Black conversations, Black families. When I say I'm the mayor of the largest Black city,
A little shorter, please.
Yeah.
largest Black city. Well, I'm taking back my other time.
Well, you did. You
I'm
did
taking
good.
back my other time.
Now you're over the other time, but
It's
you
all
did.
Black people, so I don't ask them where they're from. I just understand that we're all in the same place and trying to go to the same place.
Young lady right here.
If I may add, if I may just say something, that historically, when the history of our community and this community has been built with the support of the African Americans. When we first came in, you know, it was the African Americans who gave us the space to administer, to be the first Haitian refugee center. And even recently, the NAACP, you know, hosted a conversation between Haitians and African Americans. I think that, you know,
Yes.
it could be reciprocal, you know,
Right.
reciprocal. You know, you know, African Americans should be involved in TPS, but we should also, as a community, become engaged in issues that are important to the African
You
American.
have to have structure. It does have to be, and that you have to structure. Even though we're all black, there are differences, and we have to structure the conversation so that we can engage each other. Yes, Ambassador.
Just quickly, to answer that question, but in a broader terms, let's remember at least those folks sitting here, Nadine and Leonid and myself, we've been beneficiaries of folks like John Conyers. So if you go back to the civil rights movement, kind of the doors that were open to folks of Haitian descent back in the 70s, the 60s, it's black people. But the bigger point I'm making, there's a necessity on our end to educate the black community as far as what's happening. So TPS, I don't view something that Haitians ultimately are the beneficiaries of TPS, but this battle is not a Haitian battle in my view. And actually that would be a mistake to think that this is something that we need to hold on to on our own, knowing that actually there's a lot they could be doing. And lastly on this point, as far as the broader black community is concerned, I'm looking at these kids walking here. A lot of time people do ask me, I'm saying, Haiti is not just a place who's on the receiving things of things. We can be on the giving things of things as well. And we've done that historically. Keep in mind, Haiti almost lost its independence over the fact that in our constitution it was written, any person anywhere in the world who's enslaved, we're willing to buy their freedom for them.
Right.
And folks, the 3 guys came from Jamaica, and the British almost reinvaded Haiti on the ground because Haiti did not want to give those folks back. And so in today, 2017, one of the conversations I'm having with some of the HBCUs around our diplomacy, I go to on college campuses, and I'm realizing very few young black folks understand what a diplomat does. And here we are in Haiti talking about issues relating to black folks and the African American community. We come into this country, and we're going to live in those communities with very little knowledge of them. So one of the things I began to initiate with some of the historical black colleges and universities, we're allowing kids to actually come to the embassy for internship. Why? Because down the road, we would like to see a person who looks like me, an ambassador in Haiti. And we feel comfortable about it.
Amen.
Because the concept of diplomats in the Haitian community in Haiti, there's some important white guy coming. And somebody from Georgia doesn't fit that profile.
Right.
To a point, and I'm going to say something very controversial here, to a point the Haitians may even say, you see what, the Americans don't even respect us. Look, this is a black person to us. And for us to even shift, again, the narrative goes both ways. It's not just kind of the narrative about Haiti, it's also our understanding of the world. So there's a many number of steps that needs to be taken here within the community as far as how we live together as far as community. So this TPS thing, in my view, actually, is a good opportunity to recalibrate the conversation a little bit. So I'm saying, the black community has a lot to do in this TPS battle, more than we think.
Let's see, can we manage to get in one more question?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Bianca Gugvobeki. I'm a Haitian American woman living in California.
Wow.
And a business owner.
All right.
And 2 years ago, I decided to give my children a gift by taking them back to Haiti. And my family in New York and Boston did everything they can to stop me from going. They said it was dangerous, don't go there. They even scared my German American husband from going, but I was determined to give them that gift. So we went to Haiti, and I made sure I took pictures of them at the beach, and we had such a great time. We post pictures on Facebook. Because of that, 30 members of my Haitian Californian family went to Haiti. and then because of that, hundreds of more people went to Haiti. So I implore you that if you go visit, send pictures, share with Facebook. It's a beautiful country. I mean, my son smiled so much. He was so happy. He kissed me every day. He was 13 years old. And he got to see where his mom was from. And from then on, every other year, he wants to go back to Haiti. And now some of his friends' parents are asking if we could take them with us. So share the beauty of Haiti and not just the negative. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's go right here. Let's go.
I'm Burton Wides, a long supporter of Haiti. I'm going to fool around by being brief and not asking a tough question. I just wanted to say, Ambassador, I have an idea I'd like to share with you at some point on your idea of reframing the issue, because ever since I started working on Haiti with Brian back in 1990, was it, whatever, I've been struck by the fact that Haiti sticks out like a sore thumb in the Caribbean and really Latin America for the creativity of its people in the arts, the performing arts, the written arts, the visual arts. And the question is why and what is that source of that tremendous creativity? I think there could be a great exhibit on that at the National Geographic, but a lot more publication of it in America to reframe the sense of the Haitian people in the United States.
We're going to hold that answer. We're going to give one more. Let's go over here real quick. We'll get that last question in, and then we'll have composite answers so that we'll wrap it up. And while he's doing that, it gives me a chance to say Haitians' arts dominate. I have it all over my house, but it dominates. If you go anywhere in the Caribbean, Haitian art dominates. It is just so incredible. Yes.
First of all, thank you for this awesome occasion. I'm not Haitian, but I strongly support the Haitians. I believe in you, and I love who you are. Recently, I went to a diaspora film festival, and it was on Toussaint Louverture. And the place was packed with Haitians. I had no idea that there was such a strong representation in Washington, D.C. How is it people like me can know more about your activities and become more involved directly in those activities? Because until that Sunday, I had no idea that the community was that strong. But I am a staunch advocate and supporter of Haiti and the people who live in Haiti.
Okay, well, we get an answer to that to Mr. Ambassador. Yes.
Well, that last part of the question, I think it's fairly easy, at least on the Washington side, to answer. Come to us at the embassy. We'll take care of you.
He's right here. He's not going to go anywhere. Come and see him right after the connect.
No, I'll make certain that you get in. Any person can, in theory, walk into the embassy with no issue. So if there's any issues there, we'll address it. On the other points, again, I'm happy that you made the comments around arts, Haitian culture. Again, I'm using that same analogy to make my bigger point. As good as our arts can be, as good as we may be creative in the arts and the culture and the way people think of us, I'm reminding people Haiti is a whole lot more than that. We also have scientists. We all have mathematicians. Look at us as that package. In other words, I'm saying there's different. Think about what has been said here. Folks who are reluctant to go to Haiti. Last I checked, Haiti is not at war with anybody. Just think about it. We're talking about basic things as far as a community, but somehow the conversation is actually stagnant. It's not moving for a reason I cannot comprehend. So in other words, what's the issue here if I were to take my daughter who's 2 years old to Haiti tomorrow? The fear that what's gonna happen to her? And I was just telling a Haitian journalist earlier today, he's like, Ambassador, I'm happy that I see you here because you have no bodyguard. And I had to remind him, I have yet to walk around with a bodyguard ever in my life. In Haiti, including the whole 6 years I've been an ambassador. In part, not to make a point, but I'm also saying, wait a minute, I go to Haiti, I walk down the street. I choose to walk on the street, and nothing has yet to happen. And the point I'm making, a lot of times somebody gonna fall on a bicycle, it's gonna be magnified to a point where, oh my God, something happens in Haiti. Whereas if you go right down the street here, the same issues we're raising about Haiti, they're happening right here in Washington, D.C. But we're running here to Washington, D.C. It's just because we're looking at places with different lenses. And that's the issue I'm raising here. It has nothing to do with the physical space. There are a lot of issues to address, and I'm not saying they've been addressed. To the contrary, I'm saying there's a different way to approach it. Right now, Haiti is being flooded with almost exclusively with development workers. Whereas I'm saying, I hope anybody and everybody goes. And then if the right environment is created, we're gonna find our ways, collectively, as a people, as a community. But this whole idea that, just think about every comment that has been made here. Haiti is nothing but a special needs students in a classroom in our mind. And special needs students always need special attention. And I'm saying, wait a minute, that's not the Haiti I'm trying to represent. That's not the Haiti I'm hoping my two daughters, when they're talking to their classmates, they want to describe to people. And more important, that's not the Haiti I know. And believe me, I work on the country, not as a diplomat, not as an ambassador, not as just an average Haitian. And the point I'm making here, until we begin to shift in the way we look at Haiti. My mom, we talk about hurricane, came here after the hurricane, and she goes back to her community in Jeremy, in the outskirts where Pikmakaya is, in some ways, that most Haitians wouldn't even know where it is on the map. And whenever I'm talking to folks in the community, many of the points you're raising here, that's not what they're talking about. They're talking about the daily struggle, but in a way that they're addressing them. And the thing that Nadine's grandmother talked about, Haiti today, it's much harder for people making 20,000 times more than what your grandmother was doing. And in fact, things are not happening, but because we're running in circle. The approach, in my view, again, needs to be readdressed. Right. 30 years later, look at the scoreboard. We have very little to show for it. Not because of the lack of energy, not because of the lack of resources, just your presence is a testament of our interest in this battle. And we have too little to show for it. In part, in my mind, as much we talk about creativity in the Haitian art, I'm saying we need to show more creativity in the way we are addressing Haiti and its people. And that has to change yesterday.
All right, thank you very much. Again, an incredible panel. Let me just say on this image question, which is one of the things, again, the Haiti Support Project works with, a couple of quick stories. One, Kango Kid, who was one of the original hip-hop founders and so forth, and he had this, I guess, this song out, Roxanne, Roxanne was his great story. He refused to admit he was Haitian until we took him to Haiti. No, really. And I will never forget, because his mother is in Haiti. And his mother, we took him back, and it was really wonderful, and his mother was so thankful. She grabbed him, and she just thanked us for bringing her son back to Haiti. And he, since that time, has decided, yes, it's okay to be Haiti. Warren Ballentine, some of you may have heard Warren Ballentine on the radio, and Warren Ballentine helped to promote one of our really the most significant delegation we took, I think, was just before the earthquake. About 70 people went on that delegation, and we went to the Citadel, and we went to the village Milo, where we support about 4,000 school children. And then we went to the Camaria Plage, and kind of hung out on the beach. And Warren Ballentine walked around, and he said, "Damn, Haiti has some of the most beautiful beaches in the world." I said, "That's right." Some of the most beautiful beaches in the world are in Haiti. And then finally, in 2004, unfortunately the year that President ALC was ousted, we had the honor of taking on a cruise ship 500 African Americans and Haitian Americans. It was actually the last time Catherine Dunham, the great Haitian, she perfected her dance technique coming out of Haiti. And she was not able to get off the ship, but I remember her going and looking because she loved Haiti so much. We were not able to actually go into the country itself because of the, all of the turmoil around that. But 500 people. And we landed on the beaches. Susan Taylor was among them, Hakeem Adabuti, many, many, many prominent African Americans. And one of the things that we did in that year with Royal Caribbean Cruise Line, because there were members of the NAACP and others, they would go to Haiti, Labadee, but it was on the map, it would say Hispaniola. They would not let people know they were in Haiti because of the stigma. But in 2004, we took on the Royal Caribbean Cruise Line, with which we have quite a positive relationship now, actually. And we made them change that. So now you don't see that Hispaniola on there. You know when you go to Labadee, you now know that you are in Haiti because that stigma has been lifted. So this battle about images and stigma is incredibly important. And we have to be a part of that struggle. Again, we thank the ambassador for playing the incredible role that he's playing in it, and for all of our panelists for joining in it too. And you too can be a part of changing the narrative for Haiti. Thank you very kindly for coming today. And the next panel up is on reparations. So we hope some of you will stay for that. Indeed, all of you are welcome to stay for the panel for reparations as well.
I don't know, because I heard that call couldn't come.